Thank you. Mr. Ebbin.
I'd like to see the investments decreased, or tax expenses decreased, from offshoring and imprisoning people at a disproportionate rate. Right now, African Americans are 8.2% of the Arlington population, yet 50% of the arrests for marijuana usage and possession are of African Americans. Virginia spends $67 million a year on incarcerating and arresting people for marijuana use. There's something wrong with that, particularly when it's racially disproportionate. I'd like to see the goals of 8A programs increased. 1% of federal contracting for 8A programs is $5 billion a year. That's a way to get capital not just into the African American community, or funding not only into the African American community, but into other communities affected by SWAM programs. I'd like to see the defense budget, major weapon systems cut, or research and development in Northern Virginia maintained. Right now, we have $60 billion in contracting, federal contracting, flowing through Northern Virginia alone.
Thank you. Mr. Levine.
So you'd ask where I'd cut spending. I would start with the massive agricultural subsidies we give to agribusinesses that make millions of dollars a year. I don't think they need our taxpayer help. What tax expenditures would I get rid of? How about the special benefit that hedge fund owners get, or corporate jet owners get, or oil company owners get? I do not like corporate welfare. In fact, this is one of the things that liberals and Tea Party members agree on. I found that out, went through my radio show. But this doesn't mean that we want to generally cut the budget in a time of high unemployment. There's a time to spend and a time to save. That's what the Bible tells us. It's also what your macroeconomics professor at Harvard tells you. It's the same thing. And when unemployment is low, that's the time to run a budget surplus. Thank you, Bill Clinton. But when unemployment is high, it's time to save. It's time to spend. That's what Franklin Roosevelt did. That's why we have these beautiful bridges across the Potomac River. And when they want to cut things like food stamps, I try to remind Republicans how little food stamps are. It's about $4.50 a day. You know how hard it is to eat on $4.50 a day? And when I tell them how little it is, you find that even Republicans, some of them, have a heart, and they don't want to cut food stamps.
Thank you. Mr. Beyer.
Yeah, I'm a businessman, and I believe in investment. And so my overwhelming budget priority will be to invest in the people, first and foremost. And that means first, lifting everybody out of poverty. There's no reason in the world why we need 16 million children, American children, living in poverty. You know, there are many countries in Europe, Germany, Switzerland, France, etc., where nobody lives in poverty. This is a choice. This is a budget decision we make. We make a different priority decision to lift people out of poverty. We can do it. We need to protect every senior, obviously, and we need to provide a world-class education from pre-K through college for every child, black or white. By the way, I am for a balanced budget in the long run, because the transfer payments of interest to the rich is an enormous move to make the income inequality worse. But in the short run, we can't do that when 10 million people are out of work, when the unemployment rate is 6.3%, and double that in the African American community. Today, we invest. The balanced budget will come if we invest in people right now.